regional scale awareness raising and demonstrations to improve the sustainability of forestry, cropping, and livestock operations, with access to newly created, large-scale biochar supplies, is a project delivered by the South Australian NoTill Farmers Association, with funding support from the Australian Government's National Landcare program. The project began with an open day at a new biochar facility near Tantanoola. More than 30 members of the regional forestry and primary production industry attended to learn more about biochar production and biochar applications, leading to the development of targeted information and on-ground trials in forestry, cropping, and livestock production. The cropping trial and field day were held near Keith, in the upper southeast of South Australia. The cropping trial was independently sown, managed, and monitored by the South Australian Research and Development Institute. The trial produced encouraging results that are consistent with other no-till crop trials that assess the banding of biochar with reduced rates of DAP fertiliser. In summary, the data shows that DAP fertilisers at rates of 50 kilograms per hectare and 100 kilograms per hectare did increase biomass production. Biomass production was maximised when 50 kilograms per hectare of DAP was paired with only 35 kilograms per hectare of biochar. The livestock demonstration was conducted at Wokewine Station, near Millicent in South Australia.
Here at Wokewine, we've been here for 5 generations. We mostly farm Hereford cows, as you can see behind me, but we do a mixed enterprise of cropping and hay, breeding and trading cattle and sheep. Me and my father Michael have talked about biochar for quite a few years. We've been involved in the forestry industry for some generations as well, and biochar is something that's been popping up every now and then over the last 10 years, so we were definitely interested in it. We saw some upsides in the carbon that was in the biochar, and you know, through research into soil carbon, we're hoping that there'd be some good upside into introducing some biochar into the soil or into the cattle. We started off with the biochar in one of our loose lick trailers, which we'd built custom to feed our animals, our livestock mostly. We received the first batch of biochar that was, we didn't know much about biochar, but it kind of was fairly coarse and didn't seem to be, I guess, fully cooked in my terms. I'm not sure the official terminology, but after that first load we got some second lots of biochar, and from then on it seemed like the cattle were enjoying it more, as well as being a more brittle product that seemed to be cooked all the way through, and you could snap and nearly see the layers of carbon in them. To begin the trial, we were feeding the biochar in a loose lick trailer. We were advised to add some molasses just to gather the cattle's attention, which it did instantly. We then were able to wean them off the molasses within a week because we realised they were all quite happy to get stuck into it. We had it in cows and calves, and we noticed that both the older cows and the young calves were putting their snouts directly into the biochar and eating it down, and we were using way more than we thought. I think we started off at an estimate of 60 grams per head a day, and we were filling it up double that rate, especially once we got the second load of biochar, which was of high quality. We were hoping from the biochar that we would increase the animals' productivity, even from small things like helping the stomach to compete with parasite burdens that we've seen on our farm. We'd previously been certified organic, and we thought that any kind of charcoal or you know, biochar would actually help the intestines of the cattle. They ate the biochar freely without any pressure from us, which I found quite surprising. And we quite often trust the cattle to know if the product is something that's good for them, especially if they keep coming back to it. So we had a positive outlook that the cattle were enjoying it, but also that there was hopefully some kind of benefit in production or in health for the livestock. After we'd done the trial with the free lick biochar, we started feeding 900 steers on a daily ration of silage. We added 60 grams per head a day of biochar, and they definitely seem to get stuck into it. We had no concrete final result. We had an entomologist come to Wokwine and measure some dung beetles and other insects. Their results were positive but inconclusive as well. We noticed that the cattle were in very good condition. We didn't have to use any drenches or any other applications on them during the time we were using it. I think biochar would be an effective use of some local products which are waste product at the moment. We've got plantations in the softwood and hardwood industry that get burnt every year. I think with the biochar situation, I think if there was some higher quality, or probably some of the high quality biochar we had available at a lower price to us, we would be interested in doing some more self-funded trials, and there's other applications where biochar could be useful. I think the productivity in producing it and then getting it to farmers needs to be improved, but I'm positive that biochar can be something that is used by farmers.
The key outcomes of the project include: biochar can be produced from forestry residue. However, quality can vary. Growing media containing 25% to 50% biochar are effective for forestry seedlings. Biochar significantly increased the efficiency of DAP fertilizer used to grow a wheat crop. Cattle rejected low-quality biochar and readily fed on high-quality biochar. Cattle very much preferred biochar that was small and brittle. Cattle self-fed on raw biochar at a rate of 100 grams per head per day. Cattle readily self-fed on silage incorporated with biochar at a rate of 60 grams per head per day. Live weight gains were not significant relative to untreated cattle. Animal health was observably improved, and biochar feeding eliminated the need to apply chemical control for parasites. The outcomes of the project have been shared at field days, at the annual NoTill conference, and through published articles. This highly collaborative project was delivered with a range of partners. With special thanks: the McKillop Farm Management Group, the South Australian Research and Development Institute, Wokwine Station, Roundwood Solutions, Carbon Chip, the Limestone Coast Landscapes Board, Timberlands.